know he knew who the fuck I was. God damn. He said don't tell him about the culture. Implying that I'm part of the culture. Man, I gotta call my mom.
So the fact that Hobson is overreacting like that, you can tell it's a fake reaction. And he's trying to make it seem like he's a underground artist or whatever, but no, he's a pretty big artist. Now look at this. So this was on November 15th, you know, a couple days before their versus battle. And look at what Young Jeezy said. He said, "Say Lil Guwap, see you on the 19th. Don't send your clone." So why would he say that? Like, they're just putting it in front of our face. Look at all the other people who think Hobson looks like Gucci Mane. So this guy says Hobson looks like Gucci. Why does Hobson look like Gucci Mane? Gucci's starting to look like Hobson. A mutated Gucci clone. This is the line that Hobson made about Gucci. Hot enough to melt the ice cream that's on Gucci's face. Look like Gucci. Yeah, this picture right here, you can tell that's Gucci right there. Hobson kind of looks like Gucci.
Yeah.
She put both of these pictures up.
I'm gonna tell y'all something.
And then somebody said it's the smile. And that's
I basically,
because the smile, you never change your smile. That's what gives it.
I don't normally speak to y'all because I'm kind of busy.
They have the same exact
But
smile. And the same lips, man. The lips is...
I just thought I'd take a little time out to tell everybody that I'm releasing a book, Smartphones for Dumbass People. I know that's kind of a very wild title, but Smartphones for Dumbass People, because I know that would catch attention. And basically what the book is about is I'm just basically detailing my thoughts on, you know, how I feel about current things going on and my perception of such. You know, I'm just jumping on here right now, like in between editing this book and, you know, still writing a few other things. But I just basically wanted to, you know, put this out. I know a lot of people will probably see this tomorrow because it's kind of late. But it's basically detailing it's talking about how smartphone technology has changed everything. It's changed how we live, how we operate, how we go about, you know, day to day. What used to be just us messing around on like social media has now become our life. So with that, I don't want to drag this on because it's kind of late and I got work to do, and plus I'm trying to get a little sleep too. But what I wanted to say was, you know, we have a lot of things going on in front of us that we don't pay a lot of attention to. And we just take things off of face value, like mainstream media, you know, since they're a trusted source, we tend to just go off of any and everything they say, when a lot of times they're showing you scripted footage, rehearsed footage. You know, we saw that, sad to say, with the Nipsey situation, with some of the quote unquote mourners, as well as other situations. You know, it's just a lot going on out here to where it's like a lot of folks are, you know, not looking at what's actually real, and that's trusting your common sense. That's why I would never tell anybody not to, you know, believe something. I would just basically say, trust your common sense. And that's what my book, Smartphones for Dumbass People, is about. It's about trusting your common sense, and it's about taking where since the advent of smartphone technology, since smartphones have been a part of our everyday life, smartphones have changed how life is in general. You know, people start relationships as well as end relationships in, you know, in the whole advent of smartphones. You know, we date on smartphones. We break up on smartphones because people get caught cheating, all type of other shit. But smartphones are actually our life right now. As I said in a live stream a year ago, smartphones are our life. And when I say that, I'm saying that everything you have is in your phone. You know, your children's information, birth dates, banking information, everything. I don't want to go too deep because I'm already shadow banned, you know. And what shadow ban basically means is I have thousands of people that follow me. I could show you a damn emailing list of over 35,000 people. You know what I'm saying? That I've collected over the last few years. But if you look at my YouTube channel and you look at other things, it'll tell you like 20 people, 30 people. A lot of people that have 80 to 100,000 people are going through the same thing. See, I don't even update YouTube and things like that. I got a few bigger things going on. That's why I'm coming on tonight. It's to let you know that I have a few bigger things going on because YouTube don't want this type of information. Not the shit I'm going to talk to you about. You know, everybody else can talk about the things they do. I respect that and I love what they do. I learn a lot from them. You know, I respect them wholeheartedly. But where I'm at, ain't nobody else in the city talking about this shit I'm talking about. I'm talking about the overall meta script. Meaning, this entire reality is fake. All of this shit is the fucking Wizard of Oz. And I can prove it. I can prove it by showing you through movies, showing you through books, showing you through shit, television specials, showing you through just going back and looking at footage of things that have happened that we've accepted as being true, like the moon landing. You know, it's like it's the year 2022. I always like to project forward. It's the year 2021, 22, and you're trying to believe that they spent 38 million on what looked like a fucking popcorn popper with a bonnet on, and that shit made it to the moon, and then they called from a green landline phone, you know, and talked to the astronauts. No static, nothing. But this is the reality they give you. Then they give you the pandemic. I'm going to go there real quick. They give you the pandemic where there's coronavirus, which is a well-known virus, you know, killed by Lysol, right there on the can. But my point I'm making is I'm not trying to decimate it completely. What I'm trying to tell you is what I believe is exactly what leaked in Dr. Fauci's emails was the fact that the coronavirus was something that was already here, yet it was mutated in China. It's the same shit Trump was yelling, you know, and I hate to even bring his name up because when you bring up Trump, people get triggered. I didn't give a fuck about Trump or Biden because that shit was like watching King Kong versus Godzilla. I said that shit 2 years ago. And y'all niggas was calling me a fucking Trump supporter. No, I don't support either one of them because this shit is like watching King Kong versus motherfucking Godzilla because we don't have stake in any of it. We're the damn people on the ground watching them two fight. What we're supposed to do is take what we can from it and try to protect ourselves. That's it. All this information, that's all it's about is just knowing. It's not about you learning this and because you know this information, it's going to make you any better than like anybody else. Hell no. What people confuse this whole conscious shit is the fact that conscious just means you're aware of what's going on. That's it. It don't mean you better than nobody. It don't mean no other shit like that. It just means that you're aware of what's going on. And you're aware of what's going on around you in relation to your experience here. That's it. So, with that being said, my book, Smartphones for Dumbass People, because I'm going to keep plugging that because it's coming out on July 4th. And I'm also giving away a free book called Recoding Personal Autonomy. And that's basically dealing with how we look at things in this so-called new normal. And this new normal is how we deal with life post-pandemic. I won't say post-COVID because I believe COVID is going to be a ongoing thing that they're going to hold over us like they did with AIDS and with everything else that, like I told y'all before, if they were going to rush to create, I won't even say the word, if they were going to rush to create cures for these so-called things, or, you know, what would be the V word, then we would have had those things for AIDS. We would have had those things for, you know, smallpox, H1N1, you know, bird flu, all that other shit. But just so happens that this coronavirus, which then became COVID-19, which, like I said, it's a lot of deep symbolic meanings in a lot of these things that a lot of folks aren't willing to go into those rabbit holes and really find truth, because for them to do that would then subject them to questioning everything they've ever been taught. Well, I'm just at a point where I've studied all kinds of religions. I've studied all kinds of way of life. I'm still a student of life and of my experiences. So, with that being said, I write according to my perception as, you know, influenced by my experiences and my past trauma, because I think we leave trauma out of a lot of it. And where I think trauma plays a big part is when we start talking about like slavery and, you know, oppression in the black community. We get so engulfed in dealing with what hurt us that we never deal with what empowered us. So, in my book, plug again, Smartphones for Dumbass People, I deal with how this current paradigm shift into the Aquarian age, we have to start to put ourselves onto a new way of thinking. We can't think in the same linear sense that we once thought in, where we followed old traditions, because we don't live in the old world. So old traditions won't work 100%. You can take principles from those old traditions, but you can't use those old traditions 100, percent. So we have to upgrade. So with that being said, like I said, July 4th, my book, Smartphones for Dumbass People, will be on Amazon, Kindle, and every other platform I can get it on, including my website. You'll also be able to get it on authorthinkingoutloud.live, including mine, october9ether.com, as well as etherealmerchandise.com, Ethereal Embassy Limited. The book is just basically about our paradigm shift and how we deal with things, how we question our reality as we should, because we've become too complacent with just models they give us, things that they put in our face that, contradict logic, contradict better understanding, but we take it as it's just the time we're living in. Don't get me wrong. You are supposed to evolve and you're supposed to change so that you can fit the time you're living in, but also with fitting the time you're living in, you also have to keep a keen eye open as to what's going on around you. What's going on in this current time. Like, a lot of us take, everything that's like, what's like going on around us as just a normality. When you're fed something enough, it becomes a normality. Even if it's dysfunction. If somebody whooping your ass every day, if you got your ass whooped for like 2 years, every other day, then it would become a normality. You will probably develop Stockholm syndrome. That's what I think we have in general. And that's what my book is about. It's about how we have a generalized Stockholm syndrome because in this smartphone age, in the last 100 years, think about something. We now have flat screen TVs. We have so-called satellites in space. So they say. We have cell phones. We have phones. Shit. We could talk to each other from remote places all over the world. We have television sets where we could see programs on channels on different frequencies. And we have cell phones, cellular devices that are now smart devices, meaning that they think. I told y'all over a year ago, our phones know what we're thinking. That's why when you get on your phone shows you everything that you want to know, anything that you want to shop for. It'll remind you of things you forgot about. Facebook gives you memories. But I'm the crazy one. I'm the conspiracy theorist. See, this is why I tell y'all honestly, stop calling people like me crazy because I just ask a lot of questions. I've always been that kid. Now I'm the adult that just asks adult-ass questions. So I say this. Believe in, stand firm, but ask a lot of questions about everything unto God. Because if you don't question God, then what are you here for? I ask that. If you're not willing to question why you're here and to explore the world and what goes on in the world, then why are you here? You're a waste of time. Kill yourself. That's the way I look at it. If you ain't gonna question what's going on, kill yourself. Because that's what you're doing anyway. You're just here. You're a product. Your stock. That's what the stock market was created for. People like you that don't want to question shit. They just want to go along with everything. just be a stock, a product. When quote unquote slavery ended, then they created the stock market. The stock market was a way to still own people without actually owning people. People would actually sign on to be owned. That's why to this day, the stock market still stands. But that's a whole nother conversation. But I don't want to take a lot of your time. I just wanted to come on and let y'all know my book will be out July 4th. I'm up working, editing this book, writing, smoking, chilling. And, you know, I'll talk to y'all at a later time. Might get on tomorrow, just kind of expand on a few things, because I didn't even touch on some things I really wanted to touch on. Like, honestly, man, we don't even question half of the shit we should be questioning. Like, things we see every day. I'ma leave y'all with this. I'ma hit y'all with this. Did y'all know that a man named Wernher von Braun, this is the man who was one of the founders of NASA, the space program, Wernher von Braun, wrote a book called Project Mars in 1952. And in that book, he detailed a man named Pope Elon, E-L-O-N, Elon, leading his people to Mars. It was a quote-unquote fictional book, but I'll be the first to tell y'all, this is something authors do. Being an author myself and studying other authors, which is why it's taken me so long to release my books, is because I study writing styles, I study other authors, I study art. That's why it's the art of thinking out loud.live. I study art. I've always been a student of art, so I respect and love art. So with writing being art, shout out to my homegirl, Mildred Fallen. Very great writer from right here in my city. But I love art. So, you know, I take my time writing things. But when you look at, like, going back to Wernher von Braun's book, Project Mars, which was published in 1952, it talks of a mission to Mars. A mission to Mars. And on this mission to Mars, a man named Elon, who became Pope Elon of the planet Mars, basically terraformed Mars and created an Earth-like civilization there. I'm going to leave that right there. The book is called Project Mars by Wernher von Braun. Wernher, W-E-R-N-E-R, von Braun, B-R-A-U-N. It's called Project Mars. It was published in 1952. It speaks of Elon Musk doing what he's talking about doing right now. And what I want to tell y'all is this. When we talk about this whole outer space thing, I'm going to just put this out there, and I'm going to continue it on the conversation to, like, maybe tomorrow. But I don't believe outer space is real. I'll just put that out there because Wernher von Braun, the same man that wrote this book, Project Mars, in 1952, was best buddies with guess who? Walt Disney. Walt Disney. Now, you mean to tell me that the man that helped come up with NASA was best friends with Walt Disney, the man who gave us our modern interpretation of outer space? See, and y'all don't even think about stuff like that. Nobody had a very accurate interpretation of outer space until Disney brought it to us. Disney was the one that made outer space a glorious place. Television started making space something that, they created all this other stuff that nobody can ever prove, but they say it's out there. I mean, I'm not doubting that there are certain, scientific anomalies and things that may be places and, whatever, whatnot. But I actually think that outer space is inner space. I think they're actually looking at situations that go on inside of the human body, as I have all of these damn books about everything from microbiology to human physiology and everything of that nature. It starts to reflect back in. So I'm starting to think that space is a big ass facade like the Wizard of Oz, because they tell you about the Van Allen belt, but they supposedly got through it. They're always showing you satellites flying over and all of that shit, but they don't take into account the umbra, which is the almost million-mile shadow of the Earth. The moon from the sun in a specific spot that would actually block us being able to see satellites going. Oh, it's a bunch of shit. And we supposedly got almost 20,000 motherfucking satellites around the Earth at all times, but you don't never see none of that shit. But that's neither here nor there. Like I said, a lot of this shit, most of this shit, all of this shit is fiction. So my book, Smartphones for Dumbass People, just calls for a very intelligent, analytical look at our common sense in this new paradigm of smartphone technology, where you have a device in your hand called a smartphone, but you still ask me questions that you can ask them bitches, Siri, Google, whoever, Alexa, whomever. You could ask them and they'll tell you what you need to know, or at least put you in the direction you need to be in. Yet within, let's just take the last century. Let's take from the 1900s. Have people gotten any smarter? We got flat ass TVs, going back to that, like I said in the beginning. We got flat screen plasma TVs, HD, televisions. We have satellites. We have electric cars. We have cars wired to the internet. We have all of that. Phones that control our homes. Surveillance systems. Everything. All of this came within the last century. But within that last century too, have people gotten any smarter? How many organic millionaires have we produced? We're not producing millionaires because our education system, coupled with our religious systems, coupled with our everyday traditional teaching, puts us in a form of emotional, socioeconomic, and psychological slavery. I'll be the one to say it. I'll take all the punches for that because I don't care. It's my opinion. But that's the way I see it. Because how is it we have places like Black Wall Street existed, and there were others around the country that were decimated by white folks and others and ourselves? Let's not forget about James Wormley, first black CIA agent. Come on, man. I can do this shit all night. This is why I say, and I got a t-shirt that say being awake is overrated. Because it is. Cause these niggas ain't awake in the same way that I am. I know that this shit is a big ass Hollywood script. Cause while y'all niggas looking for what's happening to black folks and what's going on with, you know, Man in Avondale got killed by the police and so in this state got shot and whoop-de-woo, this, and that. I'm looking at it like some of this shit is fake. I'll be the first to come right flat out and tell you some of this shit is fake. You know, some of this shit is scripted for the news. Just flat the fuck out. But I said I wasn't gonna make this long, but y'all know I'm pretty long-winded, and especially when I got a lot to get off my mind promoting this book. So as I'm finishing it up, editing, I'm gonna be going live hollering at y'all about things. But you know, I know y'all probably check this out on whatever streaming channels I upload it to, as well as probably sometime tomorrow, because it's kind of late. It's like 2:34 in the morning. I'm gonna get about another hour worth of writing in and call it a night. But yo, this your man, Honorable October 9. This is the Art of Thinking Out Loud. .live. And I'm about to update it, you know, put a lot of blogs on there, videos, everything. Upload new merchandise, things. Oh, I want to give a shout out to my man Deontay Kidd, because he taught me a lot. This is another thing. Matter of fact, I'm going to save that for tomorrow. But it's your man, Honorable October 9. This is the Art of Thinking Out Loud. Late night pop-up while I was working. You know, I told y'all I'd do a live stream. And I kind of got delayed because I was working on a few things and, you know, didn't look at what time it was. But, you know, I'm a man of my word. I said I would come on. And I hope I dropped a few jewels for you to kind of, you know, think about, look into. Y'all think I'm crazy. But crazy is dismissive. Don't dismiss me. You know what I'm saying? Don't dismiss somebody that just thinks different from you. You know, listen. Because a lot of times, even when somebody comes with something that seems somewhat different, or it seems a little outside the box, so to speak, maybe it's your calling, and maybe it's something telling you you're actually someone who thinks more freely outside the box too, but you're trying to conform to social consensus because everybody else is doing it. I refuse to think like everybody else. I think like me. I use my common sense. Common sense analytics. Art of Thinking Out Loud. I'm your man, Honorable October 9. I thank you for your time. About to get back to what I was doing about, I don't know how long I've been on here. But yo, y'all take it easy. Holla at y'all tomorrow. Peace.